Janata Party. In moments from now, Swatantra Dev Singh, BJP Uttar Pradesh Chief, along with Deputy Chief Minister Keshav Prasad Maurya, is present with her right now, and they're going into the press conference hall. So that is the blow that the BJP had in fact planned for the Samajwadi Party. Mulayam Singh Yadav's daughter-in-law in fact is now joining the Bharatiya Janata Party, and that is going to be a blow that the BJP hopes to have dealt the Samajwadi Party today by inducting one of the family members of the Yadav family. Akshita, will try and of course go into the press conference hall, where the press conference will start shortly, and Aparna Yadav of course will be officially inducted into the Bharatiya Janata Party. Akshita.
Okay, I'm going to give you a few moments there to settle down, Paulami, but we're standing by for that news briefing. As Paulami is showing us, she shared us the first glimpse of Aparna Yadav there in the BJP headquarters, and she's going to be draped in saffron very soon. A message and an image that will not go down well with the Samajwadi Party. Let's cut across live.
मीडिया के साथियों से आग्रह है कि अपना स्थान ले लें। सभी कैमरा पर्सन से मेरा आग्रह है कि सब अपनी जगह पे आ जाएं। कृपया करके अपनी जगह पर।
Aparna Yadav seated there with the top leaders of the BJP. How crucial is this induction for the Bharatiya Janata Party? It's very telling in the fact that you have flanked right to her right Keshav Prasad Maurya, and to her left is Swatantra Dev Singh, and that itself tells you how crucial this kind of an induction is for the Uttar Pradesh BJP. It's not really about, about whether she's tasted electoral success or not. It's about the optics involved here. The fact that someone who is part of the Yadav Parivar is now ditching the party and choosing the BJP is going to be a resounding message that the BJP intends to send across to the Samajwadi Party. And this comes days after 11 leaders from the Bharatiya Janata Party had chosen to go to the SP. So this is, as Paulami had pointed out, being seen as a tit-for-tat move. A move by BJP to extract revenge for the fact that they had a very bad week last week in Uttar Pradesh, with so many of their leaders dumping them. Aparna Yadav being brought in is a message to the Samajwadi Party, particularly the fact that it's such a big fish joining the BJP today.
मित्रों, आप सभी देख ही रहे हैं पूरे देश में और जो पांचों राज्यों में चुनाव हो रहा है, उसका माहौल आप सब लोगों को स्पष्ट दिख रहा है। बड़ी संख्या में जो लोग विकास की राजनीति करना चाहते हैं, वह सब लोग भारतीय जनता पार्टी में शामिल हो रहे हैं। सभी राज्यों में लगातार ज्वाइनिंग हो रही है, और इसी कड़ी में आज एक बहुत महत्वपूर्ण ज्वाइनिंग दिल्ली में है। आप सब लोगों का परिचय है ही। आदरणीय मुलायम सिंह यादव जी की पुत्रवधू अपर्णा यादव जी आज भारतीय जनता पार्टी में शामिल हो रही हैं। भारतीय जनता पार्टी की नीति यशस्वी प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व से प्रभावित होकर आज भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सदस्यता ले रही हैं, और इस अवसर पर भारतीय जनता पार्टी उत्तर प्रदेश के अध्यक्ष स्वतंत्र देव जी हम लोगों के मध्य हैं। उत्तर प्रदेश के उप मुख्यमंत्री श्री केशव मौर्य जी हम लोगों के मध्य हैं। श्री दयाशंकर जी हम लोगों के मध्य हैं। भारतीय जनता पार्टी के मीडिया के सह संयोजक संजय मयूख जी हम लोगों के मध्य हैं। सबसे पहले मैं आदरणीय स्वतंत्र देव जी और केशव मौर्य जी से आग्रह करूंगा कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सदस्यता की पर्ची अपर्णा जी को देकर पार्टी के अंदर उनको शामिल करने की विधिवत घोषणा करें।
जी बहुत बहुत स्वागत है आपका। हाल बहुत बधाई। भाजपा परिवार में स्वागत।
आदरणीय स्वतंत्र देव जी से मेरा आग्रह है कि अपर्णा जी का शब्दों के माध्यम से पार्टी में स्वागत करें।
पश्चिमी उत्तर प्रदेश का चुनाव चल रहा है। पूरा मेरठ, सहारनपुर, शामली, गाजियाबाद इस बेल्ट का और पश्चिमी उत्तर प्रदेश ब्रज प्रथम और द्वितीय चरण का चुनाव है। और सपा के शासन में गुंडागर्दी और गुंडागर्दी को इतना महत्व दिया जाता है कि पश्चिमी उत्तर प्रदेश में कोई बेटी या कोई बेटा या किसान सुरक्षित नहीं रहता है। 5 बजे वो अपना दरवाज़ा बंद कर लेता था। यदि कोई व्यक्ति किसी को छेड़ देता था, यदि पुलिस गिरफ्तारी कर लेती थी तो मियाँ जान का फ़ोन आ जाता था। यानी सपा के शासन में अखिलेश यादव की नहीं चलती थी, केवल आजम खान की ही चलती थी और एक आतंक का माहौल था। अपर्णा को शुरू से लग रहा है कि केंद्र में आदरणीय मोदी जी, राज्य में योगी जी, एक अच्छा सुशासन है, कानून का राज है और ये राज रहना चाहिए। इससे प्रभावित होकर भारतीय जनता पार्टी में शामिल हुई हैं। मैं हृदय से स्वागत करता हूं। और भारतीय जनता पार्टी में 2 ही काम है, संगठन का विस्तार और कार्यकर्ता का निर्माण, कि आगे बढ़कर ठीक ढंग से नेतृत्व करे और पार्टी का विस्तार हो। मैं पुनः हृदय से स्वागत करता हूं अपर्णा जी का, और पार्टी में आने से पार्टी का कद बढ़ेगा और पार्टी का सम्मान बढ़ेगा। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
मैं आदरणीय केशव मौर्य जी से आग्रह करूंगा कि वह भी इस अवसर पर अपने विचार रखें।
आज उत्तर प्रदेश के पूर्व मुख्यमंत्री श्री मुलायम सिंह यादव जी की पुत्रवधू श्रीमती अपर्णा यादव जी भारतीय जनता पार्टी परिवार का हिस्सा बनी हैं। मैं सबसे पहले भारतीय जनता पार्टी परिवार में आपका स्वागत करता हूं। मुझे यह कहने में प्रसन्नता हो रही है कि निश्चित तौर से श्री मुलायम सिंह यादव जी की पुत्रवधू होने के बाद भी समय समय पर आपने जो अपना विचार आप सब मीडिया के मित्रों के माध्यम से रखा है, वह विचार सदैव से मुझे उनका भाजपाई लगता था कि वो भारतीय जनता पार्टी परिवार के लिए उपयुक्त एक मातृशक्ति के क्षेत्र में नेत्री हैं। बहुत दिनों से चर्चा के बाद आज उन्होंने यह फैसला लिया कि हम भारतीय जनता पार्टी परिवार का हिस्सा बनेंगे। माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में जो देश और प्रदेश का विकास हो रहा है, आदरणीय योगी आदित्यनाथ जी के नेतृत्व में जो हम लोगों ने उत्तर प्रदेश को विकास के एक नए कीर्तिमान की ओर ले जाने में सफलता अर्जित की है, यह सारे विषयों को ध्यान में रख करके शामिल होने वालों की एक बहुत बड़ी श्रृंखला है। उसी के क्रम में आज अपर्णा जी आई हैं। मैं उनका स्वागत करते हुए यह भी कहना चाहूँगा कि उत्तर प्रदेश के पूर्व मुख्यमंत्री और समाजवादी पार्टी के वर्तमान अध्यक्ष श्री अखिलेश यादव जी अपने परिवार में ही सफल नहीं हैं और प्रदेश के मुख्यमंत्री के रूप में भी असफल रहे हैं, सांसद के रूप में भी असफल हैं और उनको इतना लंबा समय भारतीय जनता पार्टी प्रत्याशियों की पहली सूची आई, हमारे माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी का, मेरा भी नाम पहली सूची में आया, लेकिन अभी भी कहते थे कि हमने बड़ा विकास किया है। जो विकास योजनाएं आती थी उस पर स्टिकर चस्पा करने का काम कि हमने ये शुरू किया है, और कोई विकसित क्षेत्र उनके द्वारा जो विकास किया गया है उस क्षेत्र से उनके अंदर चुनाव लड़ने की हिम्मत नहीं हो रही है। यह जान करके मुझे आश्चर्य हो रहा है, लेकिन इस समय मैं इस बात को न करके मैं अपर्णा जी का भाजपा परिवार में स्वागत करता हूं और भाजपा परिवार में आकर के उनको बहुत, मैं मानता हूं, प्रसन्नता हुई होगी। वह आदरणीय बालूनी जी हमारे अभी बताएंगे, वह अपने विचार को संक्षेप में यहाँ रखेंगे भी। धन्यवाद।
मेरा आदरणीय अपर्णा जी से आग्रह है कि जो मीडिया के साथी उनको संबोधन करें।
सर्वप्रथम यहाँ पे मैं आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी का, आदरणीय मुख्यमंत्री उत्तर प्रदेश श्री योगी जी का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करती हूँ, और हम सबके प्रदेश अध्यक्ष जी स्वतंत्र देव जी, हमारे डिप्टी चीफ मिनिस्टर केशव राय मौर्य जी, श्री अनिल बलूनी जी, मैं बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देती हूँ यहाँ पे मंचासीन सभी लोगों का कि आपने मुझे भारतीय जनता पार्टी का मेंबर बनने का एक सुअवसर दिया। मैं, जैसा कि सभी जानते ही हैं, मैं हमेशा से प्रभावित रहती थी आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी से, और मेरे चिंतन में हमेशा राष्ट्र सबसे पहले है। मुझे लगता है कि राष्ट्र का धर्म मेरे लिए सबसे ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है और मैं बस यही बोलना चाहती हूँ कि अब मैं राष्ट्र की आराधना करने निकली हूँ। इसलिए आप सभी लोगों का सहयोग भी बहुत अनिवार्य है और मैं बहुत हमेशा से प्रभावित रहती हूँ जिस प्रकार की कार्यशैली है, चाहे वो स्वच्छ भारत मिशन हो, चाहे वो महिलाओं के लिए स्वावलंबी जीवन हो, चाहे वो रोज़गार हो। मैं हमेशा से भारतीय जनता पार्टी की स्कीम से हमेशा से बहुत प्रभावित रहती हूँ और यही कहूँगी कि जो भी कर सकूँगी अपनी क्षमता से करूँगी। जी,
आप सभी का बहुत धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद।
So that is Aparna Yadav. They're officially joining the BJP. Huge setback for the SP. This is an image that the Samajwadi Party, that will get them really riled up. Aparna Yadav there, draped in saffron, seated to her right there's Kesha Prasad Maurya as well as Swatantrata Dev Singh. Aparna Yadav saying that the reason she's chosen to join the BJP is because she's been influenced by the Prime Minister's message. There were rumblings over this. She had, in fact, over the last many times spoken again and again backing the BJP. And now it's official. She is now a BJP leader. The details, of course, of whether she will be contesting this election, whether she'll get the seat of her choice of Lucknow Cantonment, all of that we're awaiting details on. But right now, this image on your screens is going to be perhaps the biggest political headline of the day from Uttar Pradesh. And this will be seen essentially as a response by the BJP to the fact that you had several leaders, 11 of them from the Bharatiya Janata Party, dumping the party and joining the SP. And this will be their response, getting a big fish like someone who's part of Mulayam Singh Yadav's family to join the party, to join the BJP. Aparna Yadav there officially, who is the daughter-in-law of Mulayam, is part of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Remember just a few days ago when we here at India Today had asked Akhilesh Yadav about this, about the rumblings on the ground, he said very clearly nothing like this would happen. But on your screens right now is a moment that Akhilesh will not appreciate and will be seen as a huge setback for the SP. She may not have tasted electoral success in the past, but what we have to keep in mind is the fact that Aparna Yadav is someone who's a part of Mulayam's family, and thereby the optics involved is something, of course, that everyone is going to be talking about. Paulami Saha is joining us live with more details on this. Paulami, it's official now. Aparna Yadav is part of the BJP.
That's right. That is in fact official right now. Aparna Yadav has joined the Bharatiya Janata Party. She says that she was influenced by Prime Minister Modi, by the BJP government schemes for a very long time, and she has expressed that in the past as well. As we were discussing earlier, Aparna Yadav has spoken quite openly and praised the Bharatiya Janata Party and, like I said, the working style of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and she has been speaking about it in the past as well, and that is exactly what she said, that this was the reason that in fact she chose to, of course, go with the Bharatiya Janata Party, and she would like to serve the nation. But very interestingly, Akshita, what we did, of course, notice is that when Swatantrata Dev Singh, the BJP UP chief, announced the joining of Aparna Yadav into the Bharatiya Janata Party, he did say that he was welcoming Mulayam Singh Yadav's daughter-in-law into the Bharatiya Janata Party. So that was the introduction which was given for Aparna Yadav, because this is, of course, meant as a blow to the Samajwadi Party by the Bharatiya Janata Party. They want to, in fact, send out a signal to the Samajwadi Party that we can, in fact, create a rift within the party. That is what Kesha Prasad Maurya, in fact, referred to when he was speaking at that press conference, and he said, in fact, that Akhilesh Yadav, in fact, cannot, keep his family together. He could not be successful in his family, so it's impossible that he will, in fact, be successful. Otherwise, he was not successful as the Chief Minister of the state and also as a Member of Parliament from Azamgarh. So clearly, the BJP taking pot shots, jibes at the Yadav family, saying, we have now one of your own within the party, someone who's extremely close. This is not someone who is, related in a far-flung way. For instance, Mulayam Yadav, who joined the Bharatiya Janata Party from the Samajwadi Party, he in fact was related to Mulayam Singh Yadav, but in a very distant fashion. They are said to be, related in terms of being in-laws. In fact, their offspring being married. But the fact is, in a distant way again, not directly. So this is, in fact, going to be extremely critical as far as the Bharatiya Janata Party is concerned. This is considered to be a blow for the by the Bharatiya Janata Party to the Samajwadi Party. But again, how much of an embarrassment is this for the Samajwadi Party? We'll find out this afternoon when Akhilesh Yadav addresses a press conference in Lucknow at 1 p.m. There is obviously a lot of speculation about the fact that Akhilesh Yadav could be announcing that he is in fact going to contest the Uttar Pradesh elections. That is going to be very interesting. That is something that Keshav Prasad Maurya, Deputy Chief Minister of the state, in fact, who is in fact contesting from the Sirathu seat in Prayagraj district, just announced a short while ago. He spoke about it. He in fact said that, Akhilesh Yadav has taken so much time to in fact even say that, I'm going to contest the UP elections. When we put out our first list, that is the Bharatiya Janata Party, the first two names that we did announce were that of the Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath contesting from Gorakhpur Urban, and of course Keshav Prasad Maurya contesting from the Sirathu seat in the Prayagraj district. So what is taking Akhilesh Yadav so much time in order to throw his hat in the ring? So that is going to be extremely interesting to see, because clearly, as far as the BJP was concerned, like I said, was meant as a blow to the Yadav family itself. That's all we have for you in this bulletin. We're cutting across to a very short break. We'll be back. News and updates will continue on the other side.
No steering wheel and no manual controls. Just think it and the car will do it. Seems like the day when vehicles will read minds and operate according to the thoughts of the person on the driving seat is not far, because Mercedes has already showcased this technology in their Vision AVTR. The concept car uses brain-computer interface technology to follow the thoughts of its driver. Basically, it allows the driver to have an intuitive interaction with the car in a way to merge man and machine. To put it in simpler words, it can read minds. The concept was inspired by the 2009 blockbuster movie Avatar, in which the protagonist controls his choice of animal by merging with its consciousness. In the Vision AVTR, there is a single merge control device in the center of the car which allows you to connect with it in a similar manner. Placing your palm on this device instantly wakes up the car and connects you to the car, and you can maneuver it, steer it, gain speed, slow down as per wish. The BCI technology picks brainwaves and sends signals to the car's computer, which performs the functions. So if you want to change the music on the vehicle's stereo system, you need to be on the driver's seat and wear electrodes on the head to connect to the car and give it commands by thought. The car has a range of more than 700 kilometers and an engine power of more than 350 kilowatts. If this is a glimpse of cars to come in the future, one can surely imagine innovation in the aviation and underwater segments as well.
You are watching India Today. The year was 2020 when the pandemic hit the world, and since then we've been asking one question: when will all this be over? Well, we may not have that exact answer to that question, but today we're here to tell you about this COVID-19 pill that is much talked about. A piece of good news there maybe amid all this chaos. What are COVID-19 pills? As of now, American pharmaceutical company Pfizer has made progress in invention and approval for COVID-19 pills. The drug is called Paxlovid. Pfizer, in fact, conducted tests among 2,500 people. It reduced 89% hospitalization and deaths when taken after initial COVID-19 symptoms. In fact, in December 2021, Pfizer announced that their pill is effective even against the Omicron variant. After prescription, it is recommended that the patient take 3 pills of 2 different drugs thrice a day. This course has to be consumed for 5 days after testing positive for COVID-19. Now you might be thinking, when and where will this pill be available in India and how soon maybe? Pfizer has been in talks with several nations on this, and India is also one of them. They have considered offering Paxlovid for a lower price in low and middle income countries. Currently, the drug is approved only in the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, France, and some other countries for emergency use only. Another drug that is among the talks here is Molnupiravir. Molnupiravir has now gained emergency approvals from the Indian drug regulator at the end of December. So what is Molnupiravir? Well, this drug has been prescribed by doctors since the time it has hit the markets. But the drug has chances of developing side effects too. This drug is not advised for patients below 18 years of age. It's also not recommended for use for women under reproductive age. Molnupiravir is advised to be used with utmost caution in Maharashtra, while Odisha has completely withdrawn this drug from the market. This drug can be prescribed to patients who do not require oxygen and have mild illness. Although it is advised that men and women use reliable methods of birth control, as it can create side effects on sperm cells. So if you or your loved ones are suffering from COVID-19, please ensure that you keep these points in mind before you take Molnupiravir.
You are watching.
Oh, sorry.
Presented by Berger Weather Coat, Long Life 10.
You are watching India Today.
Very good morning. You're watching India Today with me, Nabila Jamal. I'm going to take you through the top news right here after the top headlines. Mulayam Singh's daughter-in-law Aparna Yadav snubs the SP, joins BJP after exodus saffron party symbolic grab from the Samajwadi Party. After Yogi Adityanath's poll plunge, BJP's Dare SP chief Akhilesh Yadav likely to contest upcoming Uttar Pradesh polls. All eyes now on his presser at 1 p.m. Charanjit Singh Channi's nephew and his aide raided in illegal sand mining case. Over 6 crores recovered during searches. Punjab Chief Minister calls it political vendetta. And top ICMR scientist Dr. Samiran Panda says that COVID will become endemic by March 11 if no new variant emerges. Claims that Omicron has now replaced Delta in Mumbai and Delhi.
80% is due to Omicron and 20% is due to Delta or even less.
And braving bone-chilling sub-zero temperatures and hostile enemies, soldiers guard the line of control in Uri sector round the clock. India Today brings you a first-hand account.
Seen last year, in fact, even today, the inputs with the security forces are that the bad weather is an opportunity for infiltration. That is why the army Jawans on the line of control are high alert.
Now, Team India's era post-captain Virat Kohli begins. KL Rahul now to lead the men in blue against South Africa. Venkatesh Iyer likely to make his ODI debut today.
Co-presented by Berger Paints. Paint your imagination.
Now, in a mega jolt through the Samajwadi Party, Mulayam Singh Yadav's daughter-in-law, Aparna Yadav, has now joined the BJP weeks before the crucial Uttar Pradesh polls. After coming to the Saffron Party's fold, Akhilesh Yadav's sister-in-law said that she has been deeply inspired by Prime Minister Modi and his policies. She's also pledged to do the best for society in her capacity. She's also added that the nation will always come first for her. UP BJP Chief Sadhna Gupta, UP Deputy Chief Minister Kesha Prasad Maurya have welcomed Aparna into the BJP's fold. This is being seen now as the BJP's surgical strike on the Yadav household after SP poached 11 Saffron Party MLAs. Aparna is the wife of Mulayam Singh's younger son, Prateek Yadav. Prateek is the stepbrother of SP Chief Akhilesh Yadav. Aparna has contested the 2017 Uttar Pradesh Assembly election from Lucknow Cantt seat on SP ticket. She lost to the BJP candidate Rita Bahuguna Joshi by a margin of 33,796 votes. Now this time Aparna is likely to be fielded as a BJP candidate.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी का मेंबर बनने का एक सुअवसर दिया। मैं जैसा कि सभी जानते ही हैं, मैं हमेशा से प्रभावित रहती थी आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी से, और मेरे चिंतन में हमेशा राष्ट्र सबसे पहले है। मुझे लगता है कि राष्ट्र का धर्म मेरे लिए सबसे ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है, और मैं बस यही बोलना चाहती हूँ कि अब मैं राष्ट्र की आराधना करने निकली हूँ। इसलिए आप सभी लोगों का सहयोग भी बहुत अनिवार्य है, और मैं बहुत हमेशा से प्रभावित रहती हूँ जिस प्रकार की कार्यशैली है, चाहे वो स्वच्छ भारत मिशन हो, चाहे वो महिलाओं के लिए स्वावलंबी जीवन हो, चाहे वो रोज़गार हो। मैं हमेशा से भारतीय जनता पार्टी की स्कीम से हमेशा से बहुत प्रभावित रहती हूँ, और यही कहूँगी कि जो भी कर सकूँगी अपनी क्षमता से करूँगी।
श्रीमती अपर्णा यादव जी भारतीय जनता पार्टी परिवार का हिस्सा बनी हैं। मैं सबसे पहले भारतीय जनता पार्टी परिवार में आपका स्वागत करता हूं। मुझे यह कहने में प्रसन्नता हो रही है कि निश्चित तौर से श्री मुलायम सिंह यादव जी की पुत्रवधू होने के बाद भी समय समय पर आपने जो अपना विचार आप सब मीडिया के मित्रों के माध्यम से रखा है, वह विचार सदैव से मुझे उनका भाजपाई लगता था कि वो भारतीय जनता पार्टी परिवार के लिए उपयुक्त एक मातृशक्ति के क्षेत्र में नेत्री हैं। बहुत दिनों से चर्चा के बाद आज उन्होंने यह फैसला लिया कि हम भारतीय जनता पार्टी परिवार का हिस्सा बनेंगे।
All right, let me quickly cut across to Paulmi Saha, who's been following up on this story. Paulmi, a surgical strike indeed by the BJP. It seems like a massive embarrassment for the SP, their own daughter-in-law. In fact, we're looking at Akhilesh's sister-in-law joining the BJP, and she says that she's admired the BJP so long and now has joined the BJP because she wants to work for the nation. The question here is, will she be given a ticket and from the same constituency from Lucknow Cantt?
Well, of course, that announcement is awaited from the Bharatiya Janata Party, whether Aparna Yadav has had her wish granted, if you may, by the Bharatiya Janata Party. She is keen on contesting the elections from the Lucknow Cantt seat itself. We do know that Rita Bahuguna Joshi, another member of parliament from the Bharatiya Janata Party, who in fact is again someone who has very newly joined the Bharatiya Janata Party, is very keen that her son contest from the Lucknow Cantt seat. She has in fact said that if the party has a rule of one family, one ticket only, so she is willing to give up her Lok Sabha seat in order to have her son contest from the Lucknow Cantt seat. So it remains to be seen eventually if Aparna Yadav has eventually been able to bag the Lucknow Cantt seat for herself. But the BJP, of course, touting this as a tit for tat, especially after 3 sitting ministers in the UP government and several MLAs, in fact, left the Bharatiya Janata Party and joined the Samajwadi Party in a big blow to the BJP very recently. Of course, suggesting that the BJP was anti-backward classes, that the BJP was not working for the poor, for the economically deprived, for the youth of the state, and that is why they have in fact joined forces with the Samajwadi Party. Now the BJP, of course, is touting this as a blow to the SP, because what they're saying is a family member of the Mulayam Singh Yadav family has in fact joined the Bharatiya Janata Party, and this is embarrassing for the SP. It remains to be seen what SP Chief Akhilesh Yadav has to say when he addresses that press conference this afternoon in Lucknow at 1 p.m, where it is being speculated that he could possibly announce that he is going to contest the UP elections, which is of course going to make the UP elections extremely interesting, given that first with the announcement of Yogi Adityanath contesting the UP elections, it came after 15 years that a sitting chief minister had thrown his hat in the ring and had decided to contest the elections. Mayawati had not contested the elections when she was in power between 2000 2007-2012. Akhilesh Yadav was then made Chief Minister when the Samajwadi Party won in 2012 by his father. He had not contested the Assembly elections. He did not go on to contest the post in 2017. Yogi Adityanath was made Chief Minister by the BJP at that point of time, brought in from the Lok Sabha, made Chief Minister of UP. When the BJP won a victory, he had not contested a Lok Sabha, an Assembly election. He has chosen to contest the election. And now, if Akhilesh Yadav throws his hat in the ring, it makes that election much more interesting. And the BJP has already anticipated that announcement because Keshav Prasad Maurya did allude to that when he spoke from the stage today at the joining of Aparna Yadav. He said, in fact, that, it is quite surprising that, he's not found the courage yet to announce his nomination for the Uttar Pradesh elections, especially because we announced the fact that our top leadership, including Yogi Adityanath and Keshav Prasad Maurya himself, will be contesting the elections in the first notification, in the first list of the Bharatiya Janata Party itself, even though the seats where they will be contesting from fall in the 5th and the 6th phase of the UP elections, Gorakhpur Urban and Sirathu in Prayagraj district. So it is making this election extremely interesting. Aparna Yadav, of course, claiming that she has been inspired, influenced by the BJP, Prime Minister Modi's working style for a very long time. And that is why she's chosen to go with the BJP. But it does indicate that there has been a rift within the family for a very long time. And that is why there is a possibility that, in fact, she has chosen to join hands with the BJP. Like you said, it remains to be seen if indeed she is allowed to contest from Lucknow Cantt. Nabila?
The big question here, she's joined the BJP, but will she be given a ticket? We're waiting for a response to come in from the SP. It's a serious jolt that the SP has received in Uttar Pradesh right ahead of polls after close to 16 MLAs have joined hands with the SP. Here's a massive surgical strike indeed that the BJP has carried out with Aparna Yadav, who is the daughter-in-law of Mulayam Singh. Akhilesh Yadav's sister-in-law now joins the BJP. Now, let me take you through an insight into who is Aparna Yadav. In fact, Akshata Nandagopal explains to us what is her political trajectory. Let's cut across.
Let's get your details about Aparna Yadav. Who is she? Is she a big political player in Uttar Pradesh? And what really does this mean for both the SP and the BJP? First, remember that the reason she's so very important in the scheme of things in Uttar Pradesh is because she's the daughter-in-law of SP Patriarch Mulayam Singh Yadav. That means that she is, in fact, Akhilesh Yadav is also her brother-in-law. He is the stepbrother of Prateek Yadav, who she is married to. So Mulayam's younger son, Prateek Yadav, is married to Aparna. Now, Aparna has in fact been in talks with the BJP for quite some time now, reportedly, and that's what's resulted in this development. She has contested elections previously. In 2017, she contested the UP polls from Lucknow Cantonment. She didn't have a very successful electoral outing because she lost to the BJP, interestingly, to Rita Bahuguna Joshi by about 33,000 votes. This time too, we're hearing that she's been lobbying with the BJP to get a ticket from Lucknow Cantonment. It looks like that's gone through, which is why reports suggest she could be joining the BJP in just a matter of hours.
Now, there are some serious implications of the Yadav Bahu exit. I'm going to give you an insight here on what could possibly happen here. Of course, it's come as a massive embarrassment here for Akhilesh Yadav, the SP itself, right ahead of polls in Uttar Pradesh. We're also looking at a big signal now for SP supporters. It appears that a message has been sent out. This, of course, has come as a massive jolt in the Yadav household itself. Now, of course, we're looking at the messaging here that's also gone out, which does not support or suit the SP's prospects. But for the BJP, it's really a massive booster, undoubtedly. Now, for Akhilesh Yadav, it is confusing signals for the SP supporters. On one hand, they are the principal opposition there, it appears, or the challenger to the BJP. And now, while the wave is that there are many BJP MLAs defecting and moving to the SP, this reverse joining of Aparna Yadav to the BJP now may just send out a different message. Now, in fact, it gives bragging value over the SP for the BJP. Undoubtedly, for them, this is something to boast Now, we're looking at possible split in the Yadav vote bank. Now, we know that the Yadav vote bank is a primary vote bank for the SP. The backward OBC, the Yadav vote bank as well, is something that the SP boasts of, who's been loyal supporters. Now it appears with Aparna shifting vote, it could just divide the Yadav vote bank for Akhilesh. Now, for the BJP, it shows Akhilesh not in control of his own family. It appears that there's a split within the own family. He can't handle his own household. What can he handle the rest? Now, for Akhilesh, it's a big blow after truce with warring uncle Shivpal. Now, Chachaji is finally on board, has come back to partner with the SP ahead of polls. But unfortunately, it appears that Akhilesh did not know what was coming within his own household. And for the BJP here, it's possible gain of women voters leaning to the SP. Now, of course, the BJP is trying to push women ahead. It seems like Aparna Yadav also will further their agenda. Now, ahead of the upcoming assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh, SP chief and Azamgarh MP Akhilesh Yadav is now likely to contest the upcoming assembly elections. Akhilesh Yadav will be addressing a press conference also later today. In fact, he had earlier said that he would not contest polls, would prefer to focus on every seat in the state. Akhilesh Yadav has never contested state assembly polls, and this would be a first for him. In fact, Chief Minister Yogi's decision now to take poll plunge from Gorakhpur and Deputy Chief Minister Keshav Prasad Maurya's decision to contest from Sirathu seems to have forced Akhilesh now to change his mind. Reports of Akhilesh Yadav contesting this election came on the day his sister-in-law Aparna Yadav joined the BJP in Delhi. BSP Chief Mayawati now, we know, that is not contesting polls.
देखिए, ये मन से चुनाव तो नहीं लड़ने वो जा रहे हैं, भरे मन से चुनाव लड़ने जा रहे हैं, क्योंकि जिस तरह से भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने आदरणीय योगी जी को, आदरणीय केशव मौर्य को जो लड़ाने की बात की है, उसको लेकर कहीं ना कहीं एक प्रश्न तो वहाँ इनके और सदस्य उठा ही रहे होंगे कि आखिर आप क्यों नहीं लड़ेंगे चुनाव। तो अब भरे मन से ये एक अभी आवाज़ है, चुनाव लड़ना पसंद करते नहीं हैं, बैकडोर से आए थे तो बैकडोर से ही वो सत्ता पाए थे, इसलिए मैदान में जाने वाले लोग जो होते हैं वो मैदान में हमेशा दिखाई देते हैं। भारतीय जनता पार्टी का एक एक कार्यकर्ता सेवा भाव के लिए मैदान में रहता है, और ये स्वार्थ के लिए आज और या मजबूरी के तहत चुनाव में जा रहे हैं, तो उसका परिणाम उनको पता है, अच्छी तरह से पता है।
उत्तर प्रदेश के पूर्व मुख्यमंत्री और समाजवादी पार्टी के वर्तमान अध्यक्ष श्री अखिलेश यादव जी अपने परिवार में ही सफल नहीं हैं और प्रदेश के मुख्यमंत्री के रूप में भी असफल रहे हैं, सांसद के रूप में भी असफल हैं, और उनको इतना लंबा समय, भारतीय जनता पार्टी प्रत्याशियों की पहली सूची आई, हमारे माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी का, मेरा भी नाम पहली सूची में आया, लेकिन अभी भी कहते थे कि हमने बड़ा विकास किया है, जो विकास योजनाएं आती थी उस पर स्टिकर चस्पा करने का काम कि हमने ये शुरू किया है, और कोई विकसित क्षेत्र उनके द्वारा जो विकास किया गया है उस क्षेत्र से उनके अंदर।
All right, here are the live visuals coming in of Aparna Yadav as she's joined the BJP right here in Delhi. She meets with all the BJP top guns, including Yogi Adityanath, the Chief Minister, who is beside her. JP Nadda was also seen there. Now, there you go, JP Nadda, Yogi Adityanath, Keshav Prasad Maurya there, Deputy Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, who's greeting her and welcoming her into the BJP's fold. This comes certainly as a big embarrassment to the SP, undoubtedly, as the SP has been lately boasting and bragging of the number of BJP MLAs who've defected and joined hands with the SP. Now it appears they didn't have control of their own household. Mulayam Singh, who is Akhilesh's father, Mulayam Singh's daughter-in-law, Mulayam Singh's younger son's wife, has joined the SP, joined the BJP now, with full heartfelt welcome there that she's received by the BJP. A big welcome to her. And right on the day that Aparna Yadav has joined the BJP, SP Chief Akhilesh Yadav says he's going to take the poll plunge. He's now going to be contesting polls. Let me quickly cut across to Samarth Srivastava joining us from Lucknow for more on that. Samarth, Aparna Yadav now joins the BJP. She comes to Delhi and she has been formally inducted. In fact, a big welcome to her. It appears that the BJP is all smiles, and on the same day, SP Chief Akhilesh Yadav decides that he wants to contest polls. Take us through what's brewing.
See, Aparna Yadav joining to BJP could be seen as a win for BJP because they were suffering back-to-back backlashes with the departure of ministers like Mulayam Singh Yadav, Dharam Singh Saini, Dara Singh and many MLAs to the Samajwadi Party, and it is being seen as a hitback by the Saffron Party to the Samajwadi Party. But what political experts believe that Aparna Yadav doesn't have any solid vote bank in the state of Uttar Pradesh, and his departure from Samajwadi Party to BJP would not gain much, not even for SP and not also for BJP. And if you talk about Akhilesh Yadav, yes, he has decided to contest in Uttar Pradesh Vidhan Sabha elections, though there are talks about the seat, from which seat he'll contest, from which district he'll contest, but 3 districts, Azamgarh, Etawah and Manpuri, are in the priority list of Akhilesh Yadav because Azamgarh has been the hub for Samajwadi Party, as Samajwadi Party tasted success in Manpuri and Azamgarh. So while Manpuri is the Karma Bhumi of Mulayam Singh Yadav, Samajwadi Party patronage, so there's a confusion between Manpuri, Azamgarh and Etawah, and in these 3 districts the seat will be decided, like from which seat Akhilesh will contest in the Vidhan Sabha elections. And this will be the first time when Akhilesh Yadav will be contesting in the Vidhan Sabha elections. He is the Lok Sabha MP from Azamgarh, so it's going to be worth seeing that 2 days back, Yogi Adityanath was announced that he'll contest Vidhan Sabha elections from Gorakhpur, and now 2 days after Akhilesh Yadav in a way unofficially announcing that he will contest in the Uttar Pradesh Vidhan Sabha election. So it's a clear-cut fight in the Uttar Pradesh ahead of this particular election. With the departure of Aparna Yadav, it's a clear-cut pressure-building politics by the BJP to the SP, because if you're targeting some family, so it will build some pressure on Akhilesh Yadav and Samajwadi Party, though it won't shift much vote bank of Yadavs or anybody else. But yes, it's a pressure-building politics, and it may give success to BJP in the coming time. So this is a big thing, and Akhilesh Yadav will also hold a press conference in which we can expect Akhilesh Yadav replying to the Aparna Yadav's joining and him contesting from Vidhan Sabha elections. Because if you talk about Azamgarh, it has around 10 seats. 5 in the 2017 elections, 5 went to Samajwadi Party, 4 went to BSP, whilst 1 went to BJP. Out of 4 candidates of BSP, 3 have joined Samajwadi Party and 1 have joined BJP. So in a way, SP dominates in Azamgarh. While if you talk about Manpuri, there are 4 Vidhan Sabha seats, in which 3 belongs to Samajwadi Party and 1 to BJP. Right. While in Etawah, 3 out of 3, 2 belongs to BJP and 1 Jaswant Nagar belongs to Shiv.
All right, stay with us. I'm going to quickly cut across to our reporter Himanshu Mishra speaking with Aparna.
को अपना धर्म माना है और मैं हमेशा राष्ट्र के लिए ही अपने कोई भी चीज़ निर्णय लेती हूँ, तो मुझे लगता है कि ये मेरी एक नई पारी है। मैं राष्ट्र आराधना के लिए निकली हूँ और बस मैं यही कहूँगी सभी से कि मैं आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी और हमारे प्रदेश के मुख्यमंत्री जी से बहुत प्रभावित हूँ और उनकी जितनी भी नीतियाँ हैं महिलाओं के लिए, उनके स्वावलंबी जीवन के लिए, उनके स्वाभिमान की रक्षा के लिए, ये मुझे नैतिक रूप से बहुत भाती हैं। इसीलिए मैं इस पार्टी को मैंने ज्वाइन किया है।
आपने कहा राजधर्म सर्वपरिय है, क्या राष्ट्र धर्म सर्वपरिय है, क्या अखिलेश यादव समाजवादी पार्टी राजधर्म को नहीं निभा रही थी?
देखिए, मैं परिवार से कोई विमुख वाली बात नहीं रखूंगी। मैं बस इतना कहूंगी कि मेरी अपनी पर्सनल ओपिनियन है और प्रदेश में जिस प्रकार से 5 सालों में काम हुआ है आदरणीय मुख्यमंत्री श्री योगी जी के नेतृत्व में, और जितनी भी जो स्कीम्स लॉन्च हुई हैं नारी सशक्तिकरण के लिए, रोजगार के लिए और सभी चीज़ों के लिए, लॉ एंड ऑर्डर के लिए, ये बहुत ज़्यादा जो है मुझे लगता है कि प्रभावशाली है।
एक अंतिम सवाल आपसे, कितनी सीटें आप सोचती हैं कि बीजेपी जीतेगी और क्या आप भी चुनाव लड़ेंगे लखनऊ कैंट से?
मेरे लिए पार्टी जो भी सुनिश्चित करेगी वो मेरे लिए शिरोधार्य होगा। मैं किसी शर्त पे यहाँ नहीं आई हूँ, मुझे बस इतनी बात कहनी है कि भाजपा सरकार बनाएगी।
जी। ये थी अपर्णा यादव जिनका ये कहना है कि भाजपा सरकार बनाएगी, वो परिवार पर कोई किसी तरीके की टिप्पणी नहीं करेंगी, लेकिन इतना तय है कि अपर्णा चुनाव लड़ेंगे। कैमरामैन पवन के साथ हिमांशु मिश्रा, दिल्ली, आज तक।
All right, there you have it. Aparna Yadav speaks exclusively to India Today. In her first exclusive conversation, speaks of how she admires the BJP and wants to work. Let me cut across to Paulami Saha as well, tracking the same story there.
The Samajwadi Party.
Well, Paulami there trying to get a word from Aparna Yadav. Remember, Aparna Yadav has now just joined the BJP. She is a new inductee. It's a big blow to the SP, undoubtedly. Right ahead of polls, it appears that the BJP has breached the Yadav household. Now, certainly bragging rights for the BJP after they lost out on many of their MLAs who joined the SP just ahead of polls. It appears this is a big win that comes in the face of polls. Messaging also that sends out to people across Uttar Pradesh that this will not be an easy fight. Of course,
who's just joined the Bharatiya Janata Party. Ma'am, what was the reason that you chose to leave the Samajwadi Party and join the Bharatiya Janata Party?
I think nationalism is a very important aspect and has been always very important aspect of my life. Not only this, I have always been very, very profoundly, in fact, indelibly impressioned by whatever Honorable Prime Minister and Honorable Chief Minister of UP, Shri Yogi Adityanath ji, has said. Whatever their policies are, I think I adhere to it, I abide by them. And I really respect both of them. So I think I joined this party so that I can serve my nation better.
No, but the BJP is of course suggesting that, you know, there is a rift within the family and you've left the family and this is a big blow and embarrassment for the Yadav family that you've joined the Bharatiya Janata Party.
मैं कोई परिवार से विमुख नहीं हूँ. मेरे साथ परिवार का आशीर्वाद है, मेरे बड़ों का आशीर्वाद है और मैं बस यही कहूँगी कि
उन्होंने आपको रोकने की कोशिश की.
ये सब बातों का अब कोई समय नहीं है. मैं बस इतना जानती हूँ कि मैंने राष्ट्र आराधना के लिए अपने जीवन को समर्पण किया है भाजपा के साथ और मैं यही करूँगी.
Are you saying that nationalism was not practiced by the Samajwadi Party, which is why you chose to come to BJP?
I think what I am saying is more important, not what your question is.
Are you going to contest the elections from Lucknow Cantt?
जो भी मेरे लिए पार्टी सुनिश्चित करेगी बीजेपी, वो मुझे शिरोधार्य होगा.
Just one final question. Akhilesh Yadav might be announcing his candidature for the assembly elections today. How do you see that?
Whatever he is, you ask him now. Now we are in two different parties.
How confident are you of the BJP's victory, ma'am?
100% sure. BJP is going to make the government.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much for speaking with us. That was Aparna Yadav, of course, speaking exclusively to India Today. Paulami Saha in Delhi for India Today.
All right, there you have it. Aparna Yadav in the first conversation speaks to India Today, speaks about how she is confident that BJP will come to power in Uttar Pradesh. Also, when asked whether she is going to be contesting the seat from Lucknow Cantt, she says that it's up to the party. Whatever they give, she will take it wholeheartedly. Now, you also spoken about, in fact, you had Paulami Saha asking her about SP Chief Akhilesh Yadav foraying into electoral politics now. He's going to be contesting himself. She says that the question should be directed to him, not me, because now we're in different parties. Aparna Yadav says she's wholeheartedly welcomed in the BJP and she will follow as per what the BJP says. Now, there's no confirmation on whether she's been given the Lucknow Cantt ticket or not, but for now, she says she will go as per what the party says. She also claims that she's admired Prime Minister Modi and she really wants to work for the nation and therefore BJP is the right party to take her ambitions forward. All right, shifting focus here. Charanjit Singh Channi's nephew and his aide raided in illegal sand mining case. Over 6 crores recovered during searches. Punjab Chief Minister calls this political vendetta. I'm going to take you through details of that on the other side. Do stay with us.
You are watching India Today.
Crypto Watch brought to you by BitBNS.
are watching India Today.
The biggest fight in Indian politics. Who will win the big battle of Uttar Pradesh?
बदलिए सरकार को। क्या कर रहे हो? कौन सा विकास किया है? क्या रामलला का मंदिर कांग्रेस के लोग बना पाते क्या?
All the ground reportage on India's election channel, Battleground Uttar Pradesh, only on India Today.
You are watching India Today. You are watching India Today.
Here's some big news coming in from Uttar Pradesh. Another shocker from the Congress ally Tauqir Raza. Congress ally Raza calls Batla House terrorists as martyrs. In fact, BJP says, and I quote, how low will Congress clan fall for vote bank? BJP says Congress appeasing terror, doubting the braves. In fact, the Congress ally Tauqir Raza stokes fresh row. He's made some controversial statements and insightful statements in the past too. It doesn't seem like he ceases to do so even at this point, right ahead of polls, while he joins the Congress, becomes an ally to the Congress. He says that Batla House terrorists are martyrs. This is the words of Tauqir Raza. In fact, Tauqir Raza has very recently joined hands with the Congress, saying that if at all Muslims want to grow and prosper, it is the Congress party who will lead them. He also further says that the SP has ruined his community. Now, Tauqir Raza makes one after the other startling statements. The latest one on Batla House terrorists. Let's take a listen.
उन्होंने मुझसे कहा था कि सरकार बनने के बाद हमारा पहला फैसला होगा कि हम बटला हाउस इनकाउंटर की जांच कराएंगे। अगर बटला हाउस इनकाउंटर की जांच करा ली होती, दुनिया को पता चल जाता कि जो मारे गए वो आतंकवादी नहीं थे, उनको शहीद का दर्जा मिलना चाहिए।
I'm going to cut across to Samad, joining us live for more. Samad, give us the context with which Tawqir Raza has spoken. He's spoken on a platform where he calls Batla House terrorists as martyrs.
See, BJP is saying that Tawqir Raza is a hate monger, and Congress party has officially joined him in a press conference in Lucknow, and that's a big thing from BJP, because what remark we just played, it was for the Batla House, which happened a few years back, and Tawqir Raza could be seen saying clearly that those who were gunned down by the police were not terrorists. So this is a big remark, because in the inquiry it was clear proven that those were the terrorists, in which few policemen also lost their lives. So it was a big remark ahead of Uttar Pradesh elections. So this is not a new thing for Tawqir Raza. Before also we have seen such statements coming from Tawqir Raza, and with Congress joining him in the party, it is very evident that the Stephen party will continue attacking this, and that's what Sandeep Patra, the BJP spokesperson, had just tweeted. That earlier also Sonia Gandhi supported, and in 2009 it was the main agenda for Congress during the elections, and now this thing is again on in 2022. So these are the things very common, and that's what BJP is launching a scattering attack on the Congress and saying that Congress in a way is supporting hate monger. And it is worth mentioning here that Imran Masood was also with Congress, who latestly met Akhilesh Yadav, but now as talks did not go further, there are chances he may go again to Congress or the BSP. Yes.
Right, Samad, stay with us. I'm going to quickly cut across to Shehzad Poonawala joining us on the phone line, BJP spokesperson. Shehzad, here is Tawqir Raza, who claims that Batla House terrorists are martyrs. That's the statement he said. He's joined the Congress. Your thoughts on that?
कांग्रेस पार्टी का हाथ विद हिंदू हेटर्स के साथ, नाउ इट इज कांग्रेस पार्टी का हाथ आतंकी प्रेमियों के साथ. बट आई एम नॉट सरप्राइज्ड, बिकॉज सोनिया गांधी वाज क्राइंग कोपियसली as per Salman Khurshid when Batla House encounter took place. For terrorists she was crying. Congress has always shown soft corner for terrorists. You remember they said Osama ji, they are the ones who have taken the lovers of Yaqub Memon and Afzal Guru into their party. They have also tried to defend Pakistan terrorists in 26/11 and Pulwama. So they have a soft corner for terror, and therefore Tawqir Mia is speaking the language of Sonia Gandhi, because she was the one who's crying. But in doing this, they have even raised question marks on the martyrdom of brave MC Sharma ji. And the braves of this country, the soldiers and the policemen of this country, will never forget Congress party for this Mahapap. First you take a Hindu hater into your party, and then you make him speak the language of appeasing terror, merely because you want one vote bank in your control for the upcoming Uttar Pradesh elections. These are the people who will sabotage national security for their parivarik interests. These are the people who put political interest and vote bank interest ahead of national interest.
Right, Shehzad, here Tawqir Raza, who's made some really inflammatory statements in the past as well, speaks about the Muslim community being under threat from the BJP, says that even the SP is bad for his community. In fact, the Congress itself is the best, will help the Muslim community prosper. Saying all of that, he's joined hands with the Congress and continues to make his insinuating statements.
Look, the entire country has seen how many riots took place under the Congress regime. Mumbai, Ahmedabad, Ashipura, Malyana, Meerut, Bhagalpur, Delhi. These were the riots that took place during Congress regime, and no riots have taken place like Muzaffarnagar, Kosi Kalan during Yogi Adityanath ji's tenure. So it has been a riot-free Pradesh. But these people, just to bhadkau the Muslim vote bank, to polarize it, they are saying statements like Batla House encountered terrorists are shaheed. I think even the Muslim community will reject this statement, but unfortunately, because the politics of appeasement and polarization is important for Congress party, they will disregard the martyrdom of MC Sharma, they will abuse Hindus, they will polarize Muslims, and they will speak the language of appeasement of terror. Tomorrow they might even say Dawood Ibrahim bahut acha hai, they might say Hafiz Saeed bahut acha hai, because for vote bank politics, they can go to any extent to compromise national security.
Shehzad, thank you very much for joining us with those details. Well, here you have Tawqir Raza, who's made another startling statement calling Batla House terrorists as martyrs. Now, Islamic cleric Tawqir Raza Khan has extended his support to the Congress party, has insisted that Muslims in Uttar Pradesh for peace and development should vote for the Congress. He's also said that it was a mistake to have even supported the Samajwadi Party previously, and that it was irresponsible of him. In fact, Ajay Kumar Lalu welcomed Tauqir Raza Khan to the party, but BJP has now come out all guns blazing, saying that someone who is accused of hate speeches and threatening the Hindus is now being welcomed by the Congress with open arms. Our Uttar Pradesh Bureau with that top story.
Tauqir Zia is the cleric who makes headlines with his inflammatory speeches. On Tuesday, Raza, who is the chief of Ittehad-e-Millat Council Party, shared the stage with UP Congress chief Ajay Kumar Lalu in a show of support.
प्रियंका जी से मेरी बात हुई और बहुत संजीदा बातचीत हुई, और मैं ये समझता हूं कि हिंदुस्तान में अगर ईमानदारी से कोई सेकुलर है तो वो ये दोनों भाई बहन हैं।
तौकीर रजा साहब एक व्यक्तित्व हैं और जिनका एक सामाजिक स्तर पर बड़ा काम है। लोगों के बीच में रहना, उनके सुख दुख का सहभागी बनना उनकी एक परंपरा है। यह एक बड़ा लाभ होगा।
Just days earlier, Raza was heard making this very provocative speech.
लगता है उस वक्त से जिस दिन ये कानून अपने हाथ में लेने पर मजबूर हो जाएंगे, और जिस दिन इन्होंने कानून अपने हाथ में ले लिया, मुल्क में खाना जंगी होगी, गृह युद्ध होगा, और गृह युद्ध में अपने देश में किसी भी हाल में नहीं होने देना चाहता।
A picture of this Bareilly cleric with Congress Party General Secretary in charge of Uttar Pradesh, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, has also surfaced. The BJP has accused the Congress of taking help of a man who the BJP claims spews hate against Hindus.
It is not new that the Congress Party stands in alliance with such people who shower constant hatred against the Hindus and the philosophy of India. ये जो radical syndicate है, इसका उद्देश्य है किस प्रकार से दंगे भड़काना, हिंदुओं को डराना, हिंदुओं को बांटना और केवल अपने परिवार की राजनीति को आगे बढ़ाना।
In the high-stakes elections in Uttar Pradesh, parties are looking to stitch strategic alliance at any cost. If it's the Muslim vote for the Congress, the Samajwadi Party is going all out to get both Muslims, backwards and Dalits in their camp. Have Akhilesh Yadav's plans suffered a blow with Azad Samaj Party Chief Chandrasekhar Azad not being a part of the Samajwadi Party coalition and deciding to fight it out on his own? Bureau Report, India Today.
Co-presented by Berger Paints. Paint your imagination.
Now, a sensational development in the Enforcement Directorate raids on Charanjit Singh Channi's nephew has now emerged. The Enforcement Directorate has seized 6 crore rupees cash from Channi's nephew, Bhupinder Singh Honey's residence in Ludhiana. Another 2 crore rupees was also seized from a second location in Ludhiana. Now, charges against Channi's nephew include investment of black money in his firm, giving out sand mining contracts illegally, and the firm receiving contracts worth hundreds of crores.
साहब ने कहा था मेरी जो कैबिनेट है उसके बहुत से मंत्री माफिया का हिस्सा हैं, तभी कार्रवाई होनी चाहिए हुई थी। हम भी कहते रहे कि चन्नी साहब के हलके में चमकौर साहब में इलीगल माइनिंग चल रही है। चन्नी साहब को ऐसा नहीं हो सकता, चन्नी साहब को नहीं पता। अभी जो रेड्स हुई हैं उनके रिश्तेदारों के घर पे, तो उससे पता चल गया ना कि चन्नी साहब सिर्फ गिल्ली डंडा या खंबे पे चढ़ना या अपने आप को ऐसे साबित कर देना कि मैं तो बहुत ही मतलब आम आदमी हूँ, ये वो उनके घर पर ईडी की रेड हो रही है।
की मानसिकता शुरू से रही है, चाहे बंगाल की चुनाव हो, चाहे असम का चुनाव हो, ये जिससे लड़ते हैं मुद्दों के ऊपर, इनके पास मुद्दे तो है नहीं, लोग इनको पसंद नहीं करते। ये लोगों को डराकर, धमकाकर और गलत पर्चे दर्ज कर वो पावर में आना चाहते हैं। लेकिन से डरने वाले हम लोग नहीं हैं। ईडी के चाहे 10 रेड डलवा ले, तो अब्दाली से नहीं डरे, हम तो मुगलों से नहीं डरे। आप क्या डराओगे ईडी बीडी से?
Now, shifting our focus here with the COVID national caseload now on a decline. The ICMR's epidemiology head has made this big prediction. Speaking exclusively to India Today, Dr. Samiran Panda has said that COVID will become an endemic by 11th of March. The scientist has added that Omicron has replaced Delta in India. Let's take a listen to this exclusive interview.
A lot of questions are being asked on whether Omicron is going to be that variant which eventually is going to put us on the path of this disease becoming endemic. What do you think? Because